Hello and happy hump day, everyone. It is Wednesday, August 12th, and it's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks for joining us again today for a daily market recap and joining us on the pursuit of wealth. So diving right into it, I'm just going to share my screen here. So a few things I want to cover today. So we have some market moving news. As the title of the video suggests, we're going to talk about the stock split for Tesla, the 5-to-1 stock split. We're going to talk about SPY, so less than $1 away from all-time high. And bulls got right there and we started to pull back. I'll bring up the chart for that there now. So as you can see, we didn't break the low of yesterday, so that's what we were watching initially. That's what I was watching first thing this morning whenever I opened my computer and I looked at all the major ETFs and sectors. I was watching, did they break the low of yesterday? And yesterday we saw XLF with some notable weakness. XLF with some notable strength, and they were carrying us for most of the day. Yesterday we had a gap up open, and SPY was gapping up as well as a result of that. So today we saw some weakness in XLF and then some rotation. Again, the great rotation continues into QQQ. So before we dive into the rest, guys, just click the little bell if you want to get notified the next time I have an update, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. We'd really appreciate it. And that's enough about that. So diving into the charts, the bulls played defense today quite well on SPY. So as we can see, the daily, we have a nice lower wick here. We're starting to pull back. Like I said, we got within $1 of the all-time high. So, you know, it's a crazy bounce from the March lows. Again, no one thought that we would get there this quickly, but here we are. So if we look at the daily time frame, we just set a daily higher low. And did we change the hourly trend? Yes, we did. We did have an hourly trend change here into the test of the all-time high. Like I said, it's 339 is the all-time high. We'll just go back here and double check. 339.08, and we came close as 338.28, so less than $1 away, and we started to pull back. So we did form an hourly trend change with a higher low and higher high. But as we know, if we don't see much follow through, I mean, we did see a little bit of follow through, but if not, we zoom out and we look for, you know, a potential flag. I'm not seeing anything here at the moment that would indicate that. So something I'm keeping an eye on. So like I said, we changed the hourly trend. So as long as we, remain above this level of 336.56, then the hourly uptrend is still intact. We'll lose that and we lose the uptrend, but we'll still need to form a lower high and lower low to confirm a downtrend. So keeping an eye on the hourly chart, that's our guide for this up until this point. So again, guys, when we're looking at, one day is not enough, right? Yesterday, the bull volume on SPY was huge. So just a little bit of where I think we are and where we're going. Yesterday, we saw at the end of the day, the huge bear volume. And today it's been dropping off. It was dropping off. It picked up there toward the end of the day. And you got to keep in mind that this is potentially distribution happening up here at these levels. So for those that didn't get to sell at the all-time high, you know, they had a chance yesterday. And then we dropped off by nearly 2%. And then for those that missed that opportunity to sell, now is a potential third time to sell near the all-time high. So we have to be mindful of that. Here we are pulling back to the end of the day. So we have 20 minutes left in the trading day. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some profit taking into the end of the day. Depending on how we close, that will dictate how we open tomorrow. So if we have a little mini sell-off, then we may gap down in the morning. So there's the potential of gapping down, but we could potentially gap up as well. So we'll have to see. A lot of the bulls got some momentum today due to the Tesla news, which we'll get into in just a moment. But keep in mind that SPY I think we'll chop around for a bit more. Like we're currently in a range right now where it's very choppy and there's no real clear direction on where we're going. We did back test the 332 level, which was the gap to fill that everybody was watching. Most analysts were watching, and we did fill that gap. And then we came back down here to the 332 level, and we confirmed that as support. And that was the back test and go, so to speak. So that gave us confirmation. And like I said, the Bulls played defense exceptionally well today, and they are still in full control of the chart, and the hourly trend is the guide. All the other sectors, like I said, XLF was the lead bull yesterday, carrying SPY. Today, it's been the healthcare sector. So as you can see, XLV, huge move today. And that's why we see the strength in SPY. And the underlying strength is also related to QQQ. QQQ was at 264 yesterday, and we hit a high of 272 today. So huge rotation there from our into the high flyers. So we have the laggard sector, which was the airlines, the cruise lines, casinos, hotels, that type of thing. And now we're starting to see some rotation back into tech based on how beat it up it was. So if market makers want to get SPY, the S&P 500 up, they just need to target and rotate from these major sectors, and that will keep SPY status quo without tanking everything at the same time. They're able to create a little bit of a choppy environment, right, and shake people out. And potentially, this could be our top. If QQQ sets, if we lose the hourly uptrend, which we have not, all day we've just been straight up rocket ship. So we haven't changed the hourly trend yet. So we're not confident that that's our daily high or low yet. But at this point, what we're going to be watching for is a potential daily lower high. So if this were the lower high forming here, something we would expect to see would be a pullback to form a higher low, a lower high. It could potentially go into an equilibrium. We could potentially see a straight break. Or scenario number 3, we could see a lower high and a lower low and change the hourly or the daily trend bearish. That would mean that we were in a daily downtrend. So if we lose, at this point, anything below 274.98 is just a lower high, and anything above 270.44 is a higher low. So if we can form that higher low, both have tons of space, and to get continuation on the daily time frame, then that's something we'll be watching. So again, there's 15 minutes left in the day, so I'll be very interested to see how this closes and to see what sort of action we get overnight into tomorrow, and we'll see what kind of action we're dealing with at the bell once the bell rings. But yeah, like I said, as long as we hold this, the daily uptrend remains intact. As long as we hold this level here, which is the 264 level, and bulls want to see a little bit more of a push so that they could form that daily higher low and potentially go into a tightening range equilibrium and then break that bullish. So personally, I don't know, I'm not trading very much. Let me know in the comments down below if you're taking a back step to trading. Personally, I'm enjoying summer. I think a lot of people have been cooped up in their house, and they don't really want to be stuck inside or trading at the moment. It's the summer, so things tend to drop off. I mean, if we look at the monthly chart, again, this is something we've been watching. Sorry, that's QQQ. So if we look at the monthly chart on SPY, you can see we have declining monthly volume, which is expected, right, going into the summer. So definitely something I'm concerned and watching. We did poke through the downward sloping resistance line here on the RSI, and we are holding it. So if we can close the week and month above that, then that is super bullish. But at this point, like I said, we're just going to be checking in each day, and we're going to take every clue we can get and try to figure out what the most probable scenario would be. So moving on from there, one thing I did want to mention, I did notice that Ontario released new information about their budget deficit. So they originally, I think, projected $20 billion, and now they're projecting a jump up to $38 billion. So it's a huge jump, huge jump, almost 100%, right? So almost double, sorry, of what they had forecasted initially. And they said that based on everything that they're seeing right now, the deficit could get much higher, especially if a second wave is a real risk. And through all the efforts that we've been going through to, prevent it, it's just, no one really knows. It's such an uncertain time. We'll have to see what happens around the rest of the world. So over in Europe and Asia, going to be extremely important. So as you guys probably heard, Tesla just announced last night a 5-to-1 share split. So if you don't know what a stock share split is, it can be perceived as bullish, but it can also be a reverse split, which is perceived as bearish. So this is a stock split, not a reverse split. So say if a company is trading at $1 billion valuation and their share price is $10 and their share price goes to 50 cents, well, they might do a reverse split, a 5-to-1, and you just times it by 5, and then they're a multi-dollar stock again. Now, what a stock split is when a stock gets so big because of investor demand. So for example, Tesla, it hit almost $2,000 US a share. So what the great thing about Tesla is Tesla's trying to cater to the middle class, the lower class, the higher class, the transport industry with the semis. They're getting into all kinds of things. They're getting into insurance. They're getting into automation, so autopilot, and they could potentially license that in the future. So they're an all-around. They're trying to please everybody, and they're trying to get as much market share from as many people as they can, and target the little guy. And that's another way that they can achieve that is by introducing a 5-to-1 share split. So if they were to split today, instead of the stock being $1,400 or $1,500 US, that means it would be $300 US. So that will make it easier for the average everyday investor to purchase, because how many people don't want to buy Tesla stock because it's just too pricey, right? So what they do is they make it more compelling and attractive to these types of investors. So if Robinhood's already buying up Tesla like crazy, I mean, just imagine. I expect a ramp up from this news, and those who own the stock before August 21st will receive a dividend. So each shareholder on record as of August 21st will receive a dividend of an additional 5 shares of so 4, but they'll get 5. So you'll get an additional 4, but you already have 1, right? So you'll have 5 total, and they'll be distributed after the close on August 28th. So you need to be a shareholder as of August 21st. If on August 21st you own shares of Tesla, they will give you an extra 4 shares per share you own on the 28th after the close, and it should begin on August 31st. So that's the day it takes effect. This is the day it will close, and then this on the August 31st is when you can expect to receive those shares in your account. So should you buy? Should you wait? Should you sell and then try to buy back lower? What should we do here? So obviously this was huge news. Tesla's also potentially going to be joining the S&P 500. We haven't seen any new developments yet on that, but they had all the criteria to meet that qualification. So now it's just a waiting game, but we will keep you posted on that front. So if we look here, the gains that we had today, 15% from yesterday's low. Today we've obviously saw 10%, but yeah, I mean 15% from the lows of yesterday. We were trading at a low of around 1365, and today we hit a high of 1585. So potentially what I would expect to happen is the big boys want to buy more as well, right? So a lot of wealthy people are going to be accumulating Tesla stock. So what I think is we potentially see a pullback into the 21st of August, and beyond, potentially with a bigger market sell-off, and then these big boys start to load up, and then they get the share conversion on the 31st. So I'm personally going to be, and this isn't financial advice, you can, this is for educational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. All investments have risk. Do your own research. But I'm personally going to be waiting a little bit and see if I can snatch up some Tesla around the $1,200 or $1,300 level and not FOMO into this. So we're just looking for, a sign that we're going to see some consolidation. Right now, the market is pretty choppy, and there's no way you would have known that this was going to happen. So you might be kicking yourself, oh, well, I could have got it yesterday at 1,300, right? What am I doing? But there's no way you could have known that, right? The news came out overnight last night, and it is what it is. Beyond that, next we have up Trulieve. Trulieve reported strong earnings, absolutely crushed them. They've been running hard into earnings, and this is by far the lead bull in all of the cannabis space in Canada and USA combined. I mean, just straight rocket ship. If we go back just a few months to March, hit a low of $8. It's run 300% since March in just several months. And stocks that run up this hard into earnings have to crush. And it turns out Trulieve did just exactly that. They absolutely crushed. They had record revenue of $128 million, an increase of 26%, adjusted EBITDA of $60 million, so 50% of revenue for the 10th quarter of consecutive growth and profitability. That is huge. Cash flow of $39 million. The number one issue we see with marijuana companies right now is cash flow and are they generating profit? Are they profitable? Are they, what is their cash burn? And right now, are they at risk of dilution? These are all things that are at the back of investors' mind right now. And I'm not sure what's going on with Canada. I mean, we've had a year head start in terms of federal legalization. As we know, we could see Joe Biden and company start to make a push towards legalizing marijuana in the upcoming election as part of their election tactics. So we'll just have to wait and see. The new nominated vice president is pro marijuana legalization. She's already alluded to that. But anyway, moving on. So absolutely crushing it. Most people, like Canopy Growth doesn't believe that they're going to be profitable until 2021. And it's just leave it to the US to show us Canadians how to do business, because that is just absolute blowout numbers. Adjusted margin of 75% with GAAP reporting, accounting, financials. Oh my God. Like, it's just absolute. This is what you want to see. And it's such a great, step in the right direction for the space. So I'm personally accumulating some long-term positions in the US space. Trulieve's a little too hot for me, and I definitely didn't hold through earnings, especially that it ran so hard into the earnings. So they would have, it would have been a very big gamble at that point. But at this point, I'm not going to FOMO out. You can potentially buy it here, or you can wait for a daily higher low. So if we look at Trulieve on the monthly, we're still not in a monthly uptrend yet. We haven't formed a higher low and a higher high. So just keep that in mind. We have weekly increasing bull volume. We've got some wicks here on the top, which is a little bit concerning, but no major red flags yet. But again, we don't have a higher low on the weekly until $15. So that's 100%, or that's a 50% drop from current levels. So just keep in mind that if we see any market weakness, the MJ space is still very heavily correlated to the overall market. We could see it sort of start to break away from those correlations. But as we know, if we see SPY pull back in a meaningful way in the tech sector, in the healthcare, and the financial sector, which the marijuana space has sort of been considered a laggard, and it's been tracking the financial space. So if we look at XLF as a guide, we'll get a general idea. And we've already pulled back on Trulieve from the high of the day of about 3%. So, you know, personally, I'm going to be waiting for a weekly higher low to start scouting an entry in Trulieve. I don't own any Trulieve, just as a disclaimer. So, you know, we might anticipate a pullback down here to the EMA support range. So one could start to accumulate around the $23 level, looking for a weekly higher low and higher high for weekly continuation. You could wait for a daily higher low. We don't have a daily higher low here. We've got quite a streak here right now of a higher low every single day. So let's just take a look. 12 bars, so 12 days in a row, 12 trading days in a row with a higher low pattern. So right now, until we lose the pattern of a higher low every single day, bulls are still in full control. So potentially, if you're a bull and you're still in the position, you may wait to exit at the sign of the loss of the previous day's low. So you can just simply tell yourself, if we break the low of yesterday, I exit my bull position. That's one way of doing it. You could trim half, take some profit. There's tons of ways that you could swing that, right? So again, if you are unsure, you can subscribe to our channel, check out our website, powgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com, and you can take advantage of the community. It's so much better trading with a group of people. You got multiple eyes on the market, right? Everybody can share ideas. And if you do want to bounce anything off of any of us at any time, we'd be more than happy to help. So check that out, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and tick the little bell, and you'll be notified of any future updates. Closing, I just want to bring up the anticipated earnings. So there's not really Jumia, which is an online e-commerce company, was down significantly. I think it was down, it was almost at $20, and it's currently at $12 and change. So they were down 20% off the poor earnings reaction. I'm not going to dive into that. You can check it out yourself if you want to learn more on that. After the bell, we got Smile Direct Club, Cisco's one that I'm going to be watching. I mean, cybersecurity and Cisco WebEx, right? So we could potentially see some strong numbers as a result out of that earnings report. Due to the pandemic, people are using the work from home theme. And Lyft, I don't expect Lyft to do well at all. The ride sharing is down. I mean, the economy's been shut down. Lyft they have scooters, which may provide them a little bit, but of revenue, compensation. But for the most part, they don't do food delivery. So, and as we know, Uber said that that's been the primary focus of their business and pretty much the reason why they were able to have such substantial earnings. So other than that, DraftKings is another one that I'm interested in on Friday before the open, but we've pretty much gone through the hurdle of all the big ones. So let me know in the comments below. Check out the free trial that we have right now, 7-day free trial, and join us on the Pursuit of Wealth. If you enjoy the content, like I said, consider subscribing. We post every day, if not every other day. And let me know if you're watching any other tickers or companies and their earnings into the rest of the week. Again, it's Rob with Pow Group. Talk to you very soon. Have a great day.